Today's question comes from Erica D. I do not come from money and would love any insight you can share on how to help me build generational wealth for my children. What a great question. It's so interesting because those of us that didn't come from money have a desire to make life easier for our children. And in some ways, I think it's wonderful, and in other ways, not so much. The one thing I want to encourage you to consider as we go through some insight to help you build more generational wealth is to not make life too easy on your children. And I know some of you are going to go, what? But I will just say this much. If I would have done one thing differently, especially with my daughter who is older than my two boys, is I would have made her life a little bit more challenging. I think I made it a little too easy for her. And to this day, she has challenges dealing with stress and dealing with adversity. And so just don't make it too easy on them. Make them be accountable. Make them have ownership for their choices and their decisions. And then you leave them wealth, and it's going to be a beautiful thing. You don't do that, and it can be a disaster. And I've seen both sides of the coin. So I think today I'm going to be able to provide you some really great insight. So thanks for the question, Erica.
Hi, I'm Annette Ba'u, host of the Wealth Inside and Out podcast and founder of the Millionaire Insider. My mission is to help you simplify the money game so you can create a financially secure and fulfilled life without having to have a PhD or spend countless hours on your finances. You're going to learn how to think like a millionaire, stop worrying about money and wondering if your financial house is truly in order, and instead spend your time doing what you love. With over 3 decades advising 7, 8, and even 9-figure millionaires, and now joining that elite group, I'm in a unique position to help you make the best financial choices so you can create a secure financial future and retirement you love. This is the Wealth Inside and Out podcast.
Today's free resource is our residual income guide. You can go to themillionaireinsider.com/RIG. One of the most important decisions I made that changed my life was creating streams of residual income. You do the work once and you get paid over and over again. This guide provides the ins and outs of creating residual income streams, so I encourage you to make creating passive income part of your strategy. Again, you can access this guide at themillionaireinsider.com/RIG. All materials on intellectual property are copywritten by themillionaireseries.com. This information is for educational purposes only. It is not intended to replace any advisor or specialist or to provide you any investment, financial, tax, retirement, planning, or healthcare advice. All international copyrights are reserved. For today's show notes, you can go to themillionaireinsider.com/95. Let's begin with an explanation of generational wealth. It refers to assets, resources, and even advantages that one generation passes down to their children or other family members. And today we're going to talk about 3 easy steps. In fact, they're 3 of my favorite as far as creating generational wealth. And actually, number 3 is my favorite, but we're going to start with the number 1 and number 2. So the first one is just to maximize your income. Now, net worth is the ace, income is the king. So I just want you to get really clear on that. Income's important, but nothing compared to net worth. Your goal is to build net worth, not income. And income, because it allows you to build net worth, is an essential part of your journey to accumulating net worth. We're going to review 2 paths today as far as income goes. One that's earned, like wages and 1099 income, and then another one that is more of a residual type income. Earned income, as far as wages and 1099 income, comes from like your career, a part-time job, or even a side hustle. Now, some of those might be a 1099 income where you have a little more flexibility as far as tax planning and retirement planning. But that's what I'm referring to when I talk about earned income. We're now going to dive into passive and residual income. As we go through these, some of these require more time and commitment than others. So just be aware of that. Everyone thinks passive income. Well, even if you have passive income from the standpoint of, say, money in the stock market, that's dividend stocks, you still have to do some work at it. Probably the only form of passive income you don't have any work to do on is if you have a pension or Social Security, and we all know that's probably going to be decreased, or a guaranteed annuity. So as we go through this, you just got to realize that. Like if you're owning dividend stocks, you're getting passive income. However, you still have to pay attention to those underlying stocks. So there is still some ongoing work. The only ones where there's really not ongoing work is if you have a pension from your company, if you have Social Security, or if you have a guaranteed income annuity. So my favorite being either a pension or guaranteed income annuity, because I think Social Security is likely going to go down and it's probably not going to be pacing with inflation like it has been. So you really need to start taking your future into your own hands for your money, and especially also to help your children or your heirs. All right, there's also investments that are passive and or residual, and these can include dividend stocks, bonds, real estate investment trusts, and even index funds. Other options are real estate rental properties, and they can be residential or commercial. Storage unit rentals are an option, trailer parks, and then parking space rentals. Digital products such as an online course, an ebook, stock photos or videos are another way to generate residual income. You do the work once and you get paid over and over again. Content creation. You could have a YouTube channel and do ads and also get money from sponsorships. You could have a blog or a website or even a podcast. You could get advertising revenue if you wanted, or affiliate marketing, or sponsorship, or even selling your courses. Then there are businesses such as vending machines or laundromats. Those are options, or even building up a business that has value and is now kind of a cash king where it's generating revenue. You can do licensing options such as patents, royalties, and franchises. You can also do network marketing. Now, I have made over 6 figures in network marketing, and I love the concept. If you love like literally a simple process where you literally do A, B, and C every day over and over again, you're going to love network marketing. For me, it was so monotonous, I thought I would go crazy. Now, I did one that was send out cards. I actively use it, and I have advisors that use it. You can go to millionaireseries.com/RCS and access it. But basically, it's a greeting card system. The reason I started using it, I was never really open to network marketing, but I started using it simply because it was really helpful for relationship marketing and for my business owners and my financial advisors who needed to get better at relationship marketing. And it's been great. I mean, it has generated over $100,000 of revenue for me, and it's very powerful. I just did not like the boringness of that business model, but for some people, they love it. So that is a great option. And I love the concept that you get paid every time you refer somebody to a product. I think that's genius. The thing you have to be aware of is that you got to make sure that you're in a company that's ethical, that the leadership is solid, all those things. The concept of network marketing is you build the team and that generates the revenue. You can focus on products you genuinely believe in because it's a lot easier to recommend them and then get paid if you're believing in what you're recommending. There's also affiliate marketing, which I love, and this is where you can create content that generates ongoing commissions, where you're basically selling somebody else's program and you're generating commission from it, and it can be very powerful. You can also build an email list that can help to promote what you're selling to generate revenue, and there's a lot of ways with affiliate marketing that you can make money. As I mentioned, some of the other passive ways are pensions, which I love, Social Security, which again, there's just a problem. It's running out of money, and now with some of the proposals, it's going to run out of money sooner. So it's a problem. And I think it's a problem even if they, have the proposals go through and they're not funding Social Security. Because if they stop taxing it or they stop taxing overtime or tips, it's a problem. So that's one problem. It's a big problem. But even if they do that, what's probably going to happen, because so many people need Social Security and so many people vote, is that the pendulum will swing the other way, And what's going to happen then is whoever gets elected is going to be dramatically raising taxes to fund Social Security. And so it's kind of like it's a problem one way or another. It's either a problem where you don't have as much Social Security, or it could be a problem where your taxes are a lot higher. That's just something to be aware of. And regardless of who's president, you got to be paying attention to that. And then guaranteed annuities. I absolutely love annuities. Annuities require upfront money. It's imperative that you work with an expert who specializes in both retirement and tax planning, not just selling annuities. The key to annuities is to be able to look at your big picture and understand where they fit most effectively so you can minimize your taxes, you can maximize your retirement income. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is accumulating wealth. You want to live below your means and save and invest the balance. It's so important that you invest consistently. Now, always check with a qualified advisor before you begin any investment plan. You can invest in the stock market through like low-cost index funds, or even a deferred growth annuity can be a great option if you're risk adverse, meaning you want to make money but you don't want to lose it. Again, always check with a qualified advisor before beginning any investment plan. Another option is real estate, and you can invest in that for appreciation or for rental income. And then as far as business ownership opportunities, where you own a business and it's got a value that can ultimately be sold and future generations can benefit from. Bonds and other fixed income investments can also help you accumulate wealth. Now, obviously, some are going to have much more growth potential, like say things that are invested in the stock market. However, they also have a lot of risk. So you got to make sure that whatever you're doing, it makes sense for you, your risk tolerance, your objectives, and then your ultimate goal of creating generational wealth for your family. Number three is to leverage generational wealth. Possibly the easiest and cheapest way, and one of my favorite ways to build generational wealth, is through life insurance. You pay a premium for the coverage. That would be like term, where all you have is coverage, or you can purchase something like a universal life or a whole life policy. This allows you to leverage wealth creation. Think about it. I mean, probably the biggest return I've ever seen was somebody that literally was paying $500 a year, paid it for like 4 years, and ended up getting like $1.5 million worth of coverage. Now, that's a fluke. But the point being is that it allows you to not have a ton of money, but to create significant wealth. And the only thing I would caution you on or share with you to be careful about is that if you are doing that with your kids, make sure you have it set up in a trust so they just don't get a lump sum amount of money and go blow it. Depending on your net worth and situation, it may be best to own that insurance in a separate trust. A qualified advisor is going to be able to help you. You can go to themillionaireinsider.com/SR. But setting up your insurance in a specific trust for it, known as an ILET or an irrevocable life insurance trust, can be really important, especially if you have a higher net worth or if you have a significant amount of insurance and it's going to cause your estate to be taxable. So again, I really encourage you to talk with somebody who's qualified. You can go to themillionaireinsider.com/SR. Now, the reason I love life insurance is because it's one of the easiest ways to protect your loved ones and to create generational wealth for children and heirs. The key to life insurance is knowing the purpose of it, what's it for, and then number two, purchasing the best product for you. Don't get sucked into buying an expensive product like, say, a whole life when you really need more coverage. You know, I've seen people that literally need like $2 million worth of life insurance, and they'd be better off with a term policy because that's what they can afford. But instead, their agent has talked them into a $250,000 or $500,000 whole life policy. That's a disaster. Don't let that be you. The most important part is to purchase the amount of coverage you need. It's also important to remember that when the first spouse dies, meaning you and your partner, one of you dies, you're going to lose the lowest Social Security check. So if your partner has a higher Social Security check, then you'll keep getting that one. And if yours is lower, you'll lose yours, and vice versa. So you got to plan for what you're going to need now, when your partner dies, and how much you want to leave your children. All those things should be factored into how much life insurance you should have and what your overall plan looks like. So let's look at some additional ideas on how to build generational wealth. The first thing you want to do is create an emergency fund. Now, this should cover a minimum of 3 months, ideally up to 12 months, depending on your situation. Your advisor should be able to help you determine how much that should be. Some people can get away with 3 months. It's not really my favorite number. Other people should have at least 12 months. Asset protection. You want to maintain adequate insurance coverage. Now, this includes an umbrella policy. This is liability insurance if somebody drowns in your pool or falls in your house or you get in an automobile accident. It's those higher limits. You also want to make sure you have adequate health insurance, life insurance, disability, and then property and casualty. Some other things you can do for creditor protection is to create an LLC or a corporation so that you have it structured to protect your assets. You may want to consider family trusts, and then always have regular estate planning reviews to make sure that your plan is still what you need. I also encourage you to hire a team of advisors. This should include a financial advisor, a CPA, as well as legal professionals to establish proper estate planning. Consider trusts and other vehicles to protect your transfer of wealth. You also want to consider various trusts and other vehicles that will help you protect and transfer your wealth to heirs. It's also important to create a tax-efficient plan and incorporate tax strategies. This will help you determine the type of assets you're going to invest in to minimize taxes and maximize returns. And this is something that is so commonly missed. So make sure you have somebody you're working with that really specializes in retirement planning and in tax planning. Critical. Take advantage of compound interest. Over decades, it can become a significant amount of money. You want to make sure that you're harvesting tax losses when it's appropriate, looking at different charitable strategies when it makes sense. And then also you want to use qualified business income deductions depending on how you have your business set up if you have one. Debt management. You want to avoid debt, especially high interest consumer debt. Now, I know some people say, oh, mortgage, but I will just say this much. I've been debt free now for literally 21 years, and it was the best decision I ever made. I love being debt free, having no debt, not having to worry about mortgage payments. Trust me, your insurance and your taxes will make it up. You think you have a mortgage. Another option is that we talked a little bit about, but I want you to just really think it through, is a family business. You can create a family business that generates income for you and your heirs, or you can create one that you can ultimately sell. Another important insight is having some type of family governance. Creating a family mission statement and values can be really helpful. Holding a regular family meeting about wealth management. I love having those with the heirs so they know what's going on and they're prepared for what the future looks like. You want to develop a clear succession and inheritance plan. And ideally, you want to prepare your heirs through education and having even some responsibility. Now, I know some people don't like doing this, but it can be helpful, especially if you have a really good advisory team. You want to be teaching financial literacy to your next generation so they know that they are stewards of this money and how fortunate they are, and not that they think it's never going to end. Ideally, you want to involve different family members in your investment decisions, especially as you get older. So somebody else is looking out for you, and obviously just make sure it's somebody you really trust. As I mentioned, you want to make sure you have a really good succession plan, and then document all systems and processes so people involved know what's going on. That is so critical. Do you want to stay informed about economic trends and opportunities? There's always ones coming down the pipeline, and you got to be paying attention to that. You also want to commit to taking consistent action. Just like anything else that you want to achieve success at, you've got to be consistent at it. So there you have it. So let's recap on how to build generational wealth in 3 easy steps. Well, there are so many ways to build generational wealth. Just start with these three. First, income. This is both active from working at a job and passive from either annuities or investments or some type of other income. You want to make passive and residual income one of your top priorities. It just will change your life. And then two, grow your net worth. This is your assets, what you own, less your liabilities, what you owe. That's what equals your net worth. I recommend that you complete a balance sheet every year and that you measure how much your net worth grows. That's going to get you focused on what matters, which is your net worth versus your income. I do encourage you to do a monthly cash flow, which is just basically a P&L, a profit and loss, but I really encourage you to do an annual balance sheet also. And then number three, leverage your generational wealth with life insurance. It's possibly the easiest and the cheapest way to instantly grow your generational wealth. So there you have it, Erica. I hope you enjoyed this. I actually really enjoyed putting it together and really coming up with it. I do it a lot in my business as a certified financial planner and an advisor, but putting it together really brought it together on some of the different ways and creative ways that you really can build generational wealth. I encourage all of you to commit to starting your plan and then to take action each day and make your goal of building wealth for both you and your immediate family, as well as future generations, a reality. You and they are going to be so glad you did.
If you love the content of this podcast, please follow and subscribe to our channel so you get notified of episodes, and also give us a 5-star review and share a comment. We really appreciate it. Congratulations on taking another step to create a financially free life you love. If you're not sure about your financial future or that it's in order, or you are ready to stop worrying about money, or possibly the fear of becoming a bag lady, ending up broke in retirement, or you simply are ready to know your financial house is in order so that you can have a bright financial future, please go to themillionaireinsider.com/NSF. And that doesn't stand for non-sufficient funds. It stands for Next Step Finance. It's the next best step of what you need to do so you can avoid an NSF notice in your future. Again, themillionaireinsider.com/NSF. The number of women who were not broke or poor while working or married is staggering. The entire mission of the Wealth Inside and Out podcast is to ensure you have the information for you, your family, your friends, anyone who's willing to listen to it and apply it so that you can create a financially free life you love. Again, themillionaireinsider.com/NSF. Until our next episode, take one action that will help you create a financially free life you love. I'm Annette Ba'u, your host. All international copyrights are reserved. Bye for now.